Hey there, friends, and welcome to episode 324 of Just the Zoo of Us. This week, I am joined by an artist and reptile keeper for an up-close and personal look at a little snake with a big appetite. We discuss how it feels to handle a snake, stress dreams that are specific to pet owners, gastoning it, spine teeth, snacktivities, how snakes flirt with each other, and so much more. Just the Zoo of Us presents Egg-Eating Snakes with Lynn. Hi there, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford with Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast. I'm so excited this week. We have a brand new friend here to talk with us about a fascinating, delightful, quirky, and charming little critter. This is Lynn. Say hi, Lynn.
Hi, guys.
Lynn, what are your pronouns?
My pronouns are they and them.
Thank you so much, Lynn. And Lynn, you are coming to us from the world, the sort of intersection, I think, between creativity and a love and a passion for animals, particularly reptiles. So you are infusing your relationship to reptiles and your love for reptiles into this creative expression through, crafting and jewelry making, things like that. So what got you into reptiles? How did you cross paths with reptiles?
I adored animals of every kind growing up, especially the ones that were considered gross or weird. And snakes were one that I had a particular fondness for. After one of my elementary school teachers had one as a class pet, I was the only one able to get her out of her enclosure without being bitten.
That is a valuable skill.
Exactly. And if I tried to pass her off to someone, she would usually go around their neck, and then she would just come right back to me, and I was like,
oh yeah, Disney princess moment. I'm chosen. They can see my pure heart. They can see my intentions.
I am the main character.
Yeah.
And honestly, with snakes, that is one thing. You will get your Disney princess moment. You will anthropomorphize them in your head and be like, this snake loves me. We are best friends.
And meanwhile, in the snake's head, they're just warm.
Exactly. I've been at reptile shows and stuff, and I bring my own snakes. Well, I'm not selling snakes or anything. I sell jewelry and paintings and stuff made with reptile sheds. But people will have my snake on them, specifically Ouroboros. He's the Mexican black king snake. He's just the sweetest boy.
Best snake name ever. Love it.
They're known to self-cannibalize, so it made sense.
He's not even hungry. He's just doing it for the love of the game.
Exactly. But yeah, people will be carrying him, and they will tell me to my face, I kind of want to run away with him.
Oh.
Yeah, and they'll just be having their own main character moment with him, and cuddling and stuff, and he'll go in their jacket and all throughout their sleeves and stuff. And I don't know, it's really cool getting to witness the interactions and such. And he's cured at least 50 phobias in his time with me.
Did you ever have a time in your life where you were nervous around or afraid of reptiles?
I was already ready to go. I mean, I also grew up around horses and stuff, so 1,000-pound animal that can run me over and a snake that can bite me. I mean, it's not going to really do much damage in comparison.
Yeah, especially if you have that understanding of if you know enough about snakes to know which ones are venomous, which ones don't even have teeth.
Also reading body language and stuff.
Yeah.
I can tell if my snake is happy to be handled or if they're please leave me alone.
Right. It does also feel, because reptiles and snakes are so far removed from us as mammals, it feels like you're communicating with a very alien almost thing, So when you have this positive interaction with them, it does feel like you made contact with aliens or something. It is really cool.
Yes. There was this one instance where I was holding Ouroboros at a show. And I do a lot of different shows because I like giving people the interactions with snakes because I want to help destigmatize them. And there was this one drag performance going on, and a drag performer turned around and they saw him, immediately started to cry. And then I handed him to them and they were like, I was so scared of snakes right up until this moment.
Oh,
And then they were like dancing and stuff with him. And it was just so
wow.
cool.
What a cool moment. And the fact that like it being part of like a performance too, I feel like probably a lot of people got to see that positive interaction, and like not just for the performer, but for people watching, you know, that was probably a good, impactful visual, right? Of someone smiling and having a nice, friendly interaction with a snake.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't get to see that. Like, a lot of people don't get to see fondness and tenderness for snakes.
Absolutely. But one thing that I have learned is like great for getting people over the fear is FOMO.
Oh, true.
Because I'll be at an event and people will be holding my snake, and their friend who's standing right there who has been telling me, I'm so scared of snakes, like, never gonna touch them. But they're like watching their friend handling this animal, and you can just see it in their eyes. They're like, it's really fun though. Usually within like 5 minutes, I've gotten them to more often than not hold the snake, but at least pet the snake.
That reminds me of, I've told this story on this podcast before, so I'm sorry for anyone listening who is like, oh, this again. But when many, many years ago, Christian and I were out on the beach at night in Florida, and we found a beached shark. It was a bonnethead shark, which is basically, if you don't know what a bonnethead shark is, it's like a hammerhead shark, but like scaled down really tiny. And actually my dog found it, and Christian picked it up and was like, you know, looking at, examining it, you know, he was curious about it. And, you know, this was years before we started the podcast, and I was much more afraid of sea life, fish, sharks, everything like that, much, much, much more afraid of them than I am now. So I was not going to touch it. But I was like, what does it feel like? Is it like smooth? Is it slimy? Like, what texture does the shark feel like? And Christian was like, I'm not telling you. And I was like,
Christian, good.
I was like, why won't you tell me? And he was like, because I think you should touch it. You should touch it and see for yourself. If you want to find out, you got to touch it. And I was like, and I did. Like, I didn't want to be the only one that wasn't going to touch the shark, so I touched the shark, and it felt really, really weird. Like, way different than I thought it was going to feel. So I was like, okay, well, you got me.
Oh, and snakes, they feel so different from each other. It's very, like species specific and stuff. Keel-scaled ones, they have, like, a raised, highly textured scale. But then, like, a ball python is going to feel very smooth and stuff.
Oh, they're so satisfying. It's such like there's like a little bit of bump to it, but like it's overall like colder than I thought it would be, and also like smooth. It's really interesting.
I remember, I don't know the species it was, but I was holding on to this like large snake, and I kind of had like my hand around like it a few inches below its neck, but it just like pulled its head back through the loop of my hand and like fully like going against the scales. It was just the strangest sensation. And I mean, I felt like maybe you should be a little bit more careful with your scales, my guy. I always have to like tell people like, you know, pet towards the butt, away from the head and stuff.
So you mentioned that at these reptile shows that you go to, you're bringing your snakes with you, who are kind of like ambassadors. You know, they're kind of there to give people a warm introduction to reptiles and snakes. But you mentioned that you were there to sell jewelry and art that you make. Could you talk a little bit about how you incorporate reptiles into your art?
Yeah, so I make jewelry and artwork utilizing natural materials like snake sheds. The paintings I make are usually of snakes, but sometimes fish or other animals. I've also used like spider molds and snail shells in my work.
How difficult is it to work with materials like that? Because every time I've ever touched a snake shed, I feel like it's going to disintegrate in my hands.
It depends. Like if it's really old and dry, it's going to kind of do the disintegrating in your hands. You can lightly spray it with like a water bottle, leave it alone for a second, and then it's easier to work with. Fresh sheds are also not great to work with because they are a little slimy. And sometimes they can hold some grossness in there. I remember one time I got one, I worked so hard on unraveling. It was like a ball python shed, and ball pythons, their sheds aren't so fun because they roll them up really, really tiny.
I'm imagining if you've ever worn tights or something and you take them off and they get all balled up.
That is a more a cleaner thing than I was going to say.
Oh.
But, sometimes you'll unroll it and then there'll just be a big thing of poop in there, and that's fun.
Oh, that's not what you want. That's a free bonus.
Exactly. And it's like, well, I'm just going to toss this out. My favorite piece that I made was actually of a diamondback rattlesnake using a shed from a real rattlesnake.
Jeez, how'd you get your hands on that?
I went to the New Mexico Rattlesnake Museum, and, just asking kind of gets you places.
That's wild to me.
But I actually had two people like reach for that painting while it was on display and watch them like physically like flinch and jump back. Which I think that was the highest nonverbal praise I ever got.
Because they realized that it was like actual snake skin?
They knew it was snake shed, but that monkey brain took over.
Right.
Like while they were reaching for it and was like, nope, that's dangerous.
Instinct is like, do not touch.
Mm-hmm.
So you just like roll up on folk and just be like, hey, you got any like snake sheds you're not using? Do they like have them on hand, or do they like take your number down and they'll like, we'll call you next time one sheds or something? Like, can you put in a hold at the library? Like, set one aside for me.
I have people at the expos who will just bring me bags of snake skin.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I know that like when they scan your bags and stuff at TSA, I just know that is a perplexing day.
Oh, 100%. I get some weird looks.
Like, do you have a bag of snakes? What are you doing?
It started off because I got a shed from my first snake, and I was like, I felt very attached to it because it's a piece of your animal's history.
That's true. Yeah. It's like keeping your kid's first haircut.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I put it in a necklace, and then I was like, oh, I really like doing this. And it kind of went from there. But the painting thing happened because I was making a sign, and I was too lazy to paint a snake on the sign. So I just kind of glued a shed down. And I was like, wait a second, I'm onto something here.
Hold on a second. I'm cooking, actually. You know what? Laziness breeds innovation.
It does.
You actually sent me one of the paintings a while ago, which is now on my mantle over my fireplace. It is really cool. Like, not only does it look really cool, but like the closer you get to it, the more detail you can see. It's a conversation starter for sure. Because it looks like just like a 3D. At first, people are like, oh, cool, it's like a 3D painting. But then it's like, what's even cooler about it is that there's real snake in there.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you like the piece so much to have it on display like that. That means the world.
Oh, it's a permanent fixture. It stays up. Now, Lynn, tell me about the snake we're talking about today. Can you introduce us to the egg-eating snake?
Yes. Well, first, actually, is it okay if I talk about this guy whose name just kept coming up while I was researching this snake in different publications? Because it got to the point where I was really wondering who the heck this guy was. And after doing a deep dive, I was so surprised I hadn't heard of him before. Carl Gons.
I love those moments where you're doing research on an obscure animal and the same name pops up in every paper to the point where you develop a parasocial relationship with the scientist from 40 years ago. You see his name pop up and stuff, you're like, that's my boy.
There he is. Oh my God. But to start with a quote from Harry Green, Gons himself was arguably the most prolific and influential of all 20th century herpetologists, as well as a founding father of functional and evolutionary morphology. Basically means he studied the how and why physical features evolved over time, as well as their structure and the function that they serve. So as a teen, he and his family fled Nazi Germany, immigrating to the United States and settling in New York. Just going to pause there for no reason in particular and say, interesting.
Wait, what year was this?
1939.
Okay, so this is really in the thick of it.
Oh yeah. Thankfully, they did manage to flee, and they settled in New York. Growing up, he would spend his time at George Washington Bridge herping, which is looking for reptiles. It's just like birding.
I'm sorry, guys. We gotta come up with something. It can't be herping, you guys. I'm sorry, that does not sound good.
Yeah.
We need another pass at this one. I'm sorry. Please, one more. That can't be it.
Reptiling doesn't sound good either.
I know. There's not a good one.
But he absolutely loved reptiles. But when it came time for him to attend college, his father was like, no, you are going to go for something practical, mechanical engineering. And he was like, okay, Dad. So he went ahead and did that and then joined the military as an engineer. But while stationed in Japan, he would continue his favorite hobby of herping, that lovely word. And he would study the amphibians and reptiles of Japan and write papers on what he found and what he learned, even though there was like no school project telling him to do this.
Love of the game purely.
Exactly.
No incentive. This guy was just like, you know what? Mechanical engineering pays the bills, but nothing will ever come between a man and his love for reptiles.
Exactly. And when he left the army, he worked as a mechanical engineer and got a master's in it as well. And yeah, like his dad pushed him so much to do this stuff. But then his dad died. So then he was like, okay, it's time to publish stuff about reptiles.
I'm free.
Exactly.
I'm coming into my power.
His first major publication was a bibliography on the herpetology of Japan. There had been plenty of publications written in Japan on native herpetology with a plethora of information on some really cool species that most people didn't know existed, but those species weren't listed on the zoological record because of like language differences and such.
The hard pivot from mechanical engineering to like bibliography of reptiles is, I've never seen a hard reset. Like, so such a stark rebrand.
Listen, man had nepotism and and he was denied his special interest for years.
But never forgot it.
Never forgot it. Never. Yeah, he worked with herpetologists in Japan as well as the U.S. to compile a bibliography of studies completed on amphibians and reptiles in Japan between 1782 and 1947. Just that's a long time.
Man, staying busy.
He was still working as a mechanical engineer at this point, but he took a few years to just go to South America and keep herping. But then he came back and he was like, yeah, I just can't do this engineering stuff.
Oh my God.
So he's like, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Harvard.
Dude, chase your bliss, man. Like, get out there. Follow your passion.
He was a doctoral student in biology at Harvard, and his dissertation was actually on this snake we're going to be talking about today, the African egg-eating snake. He went on to write about the various species he came across in his travels around the world, but his engineering background actually gave him a unique perspective when it came to studying how these animals' physical adaptations worked. So thanks, Dad, I guess.
That is an interesting angle of it, though, because like I really enjoy reading about like biomimicry, instances where engineers incorporate inspiration from the natural world, right? Where they'll be like,
yes,
you know, oh, the shape of the kingfisher's beak is really like aerodynamic and good for diving into the water. So they used it to like, you know, make the shape of the bullet train more streamlined so that it wouldn't make sonic booms when it went through tunnels. Or like, you know, they would use the shape of like a gannet's neck to like make aircraft more impact resistant. And like, I really enjoy that stuff where like engineers are drawing inspiration from like the natural world. And this almost seems like the reverse of it. Like he's like using what he knows about mechanical engineering to understand animals better. Like he's going the opposite direction, I feel like it usually does.
Also, that's crazy. That was just off the dome. Like I was trying to think of those examples, but you just had them right there.
I've done videos on them quite a few times. So like I've had to write scripts for this stuff a few times. The more like I have to repeat it and the more I have to like write it and edit it, the more it sticks in there. So like I feel like by this point I've like, I believe the engineer's name that designed the bullet train, the Shinkansen bullet train, I think was Eiji Nakatsu.
Oh my God.
Hold on, I'm going to fact check myself.
I'm in awe.
Yep, Eiji Nakatsu, engineer and birdwatcher.
You're so powerful.
Designed the... I'm not kidding. I have written, recorded, and edited like 4 different scripts about this thing. So like, it's lodged deep in there. That has probably kicked out the names of my childhood best friends.
Oh!
Those memories have been deleted and overwritten with the name of this Japanese engineer from the 80s.
Well, clearly that's more important.
That's obviously... I've used that information more as an adult than the name of my neighbor when I was 8. So, Carl Gans.
Yes. So he had over 10,000 specimens in his personal collection from all of his travels and over 600 publications in his lifetime. He came up with the idea of creating a reptile encyclopedia and worked with several other authors to create his publication, Biology of the Reptilia, with a goal to, in his words, facilitate future work rather than place a tombstone upon past knowledge. And he accomplished just that. He published 22 volumes. Overall, 129 authors contributed to the books. and he died right before the 22nd was published, but he absolutely accomplished what he set out to.
A pioneer of my personal favorite childhood reading genre, which was the animal encyclopedia.
Heck yes.
I had probably about 20 of those bad boys. So I have this man to thank. Thank you. Appreciate that. Great for me.
Thank you, Carl Gons, for everything you did.
Gone but never forgotten. Pour one out.
Thank you for that. So yeah, the majority of my information is from various publishings of Carl Gons himself, as well as Bruce Jane, a professor at the University of Cincinnati in the Department of Biological Research, and impressive in his own right with almost 100 publications. I am going to be talking about reptile feeding, which I know some people can kind of find gross, but it will be very egg focused, like shape of water levels of eggs.
Okay.
So our snake of today is the African egg-eating snake, Dasypeltis. I actually do have this species. Unfortunately, I'm traveling right now, so I'm not able to show her off. But if you come to one of the expos, specifically in Denver, I will be bringing her. I have just started bringing her out to shows recently, and she's done great. I was a little worried because they're a pretty flighty species of snake, but she literally hung out in like a flower pot for like an hour. So there are two snake species that we know of that have adapted to eat exclusively eggs. We have the Dasypeltis, and we have the Elachistodon westermanni, the Indian egg-eating snake. They are widespread across Africa as well as the southern Arabian Peninsula and primarily found in forested areas or wooded habitats. There's about 17 species of Dasypeltis in the genus. It could be 18, 19. There were so many different numbers I saw, literally from 5 to like 19.
You ask 5 taxonomists and they'll give you 6 different answers.
I have the Dasypeltis gonzi muffin, and they're actually named after Carl Gons.
I was about to ask that. I was like, do I detect a through line?
Yes, and they are the most special among them.
Whoa, what makes them the specialist?
We'll get into that later.
Ooh! Muffin, also a fantastic name. A very good name for a snake.
Thank you. Egg McMuffin is her full name.
Oh my god. Muffin for short.
She was named that because I was eating a muffin when I adopted her, and I was just kind of carrying it on top of her little deli cup. And everyone was like, all right, well, you know her name's Muffin, right? And I'm like, I guess.
Although Egg McMuffin is that's a good expansion of the name, though. It does incorporate the egg element, which is crucial.
100%. Size-wise, the females are going to be about 40-ish inches. The males are about 30 inches. And they're so slender. They are the slenderest little noodles. Like, they kind of look like if you took a king snake and just kept rolling it out. Like, if there was Play-Doh and you just kept rolling it out.
Anyone who's ever been in physical contact with Play-Doh knows that's the first thing you're making.
Absolutely. But when they aren't stretched out, they kind of give the appearance of a much smaller snake than they are. Like, when people hold her, they're like, she just kind of keeps going.
like a clown pulling the handkerchiefs. Like,
exactly.
There's a lot more of this than I thought there was going to be.
Their eyes are freaking huge, just gigantic, like googly eyes that like bulge significantly outwards. If you're looking at them straight on, it looks exactly like the eye emoji, lips emoji, eye emoji.
That's my favorite combo. That's probably one of my most used combos. Yeah, I did a quick Google search, and this is an unserious looking snake.
They're just little goobers.
It's very goober coated.
Their color and pattern varies quite a bit. I'll get into why later. But Muffin is like a yellow-brown with really subtle patterning. What's really cool about her, though, is like between her scales along her back, in some parts, there's like white between her scales. And you can really see it when she's eating.
If this is anyone's first time listening to this particular podcast, what we do is rate animals out of 10 in different categories, and the first one is effectiveness. These are things built into the animal's body that let them do a good job of the things that they're trying to do, like finding their own food, not becoming food themselves, things that are built into their body. Lynn, what do you give the African egg-eating snake out of 10 for effectiveness?
She's going to get an 8. They're semi-arboreal, so they're going to be spending a lot of time foraging in trees. So they're extremely good at climbing.
That is where eggs are.
Once I walked past her enclosure, and she was using 3 different points of contact on the glass to hold herself up so she could, like, try to pry the lid off.
Oh, parkour.
Mm-hmm.
That's like those like urban rock climbing people. They'll be like in some sort of yoga pose up trying to get somewhere where they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, 100%.
But was she strong enough to lift the lid or no?
Oh, no. I also use baby locks on my enclosures.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. They will get out, even if they're a completely terrestrial species. A lot of people think, like, just because your snake isn't known to go up into the trees and stuff, that you don't need to give them stuff to climb on. But no, all snakes are going to love exploring whatever you put into their enclosures.
I have a friend who used to have a ball python that got really big. And as it grew bigger and bigger, she had to progressively stack more and more books on top of the enclosure. Because as it got bigger, it got stronger. It would be able to lift the lid. And then at one point, there was like, she had like a small library of books that she was stacking on top of the lid to keep the snake from getting out.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you know that reptile keepers get specific types of dreams where like you come home and suddenly your reptile had a million babies and you have to figure out enclosures for all of them, which is one I get a lot, even though I don't breed snakes. Or like that they've gotten out. Like one I had recently was like all my snakes were in the wrong enclosures.
Oh no.
And had gotten out and stuff, and I was trying to put them back into their right enclosures, but I turned around and they were back in the wrong ones.
Oh, the reptile owner specific stress dreams.
Yes.
Every once in a while when I'm stressed out, I will have dreams that I think are left over from a period of time when I did have a lot of pets, which I don't anymore. But I will have a dream where I suddenly remember that I have like 20 pets that I forgot about.
Those too.
Yeah, that I'll suddenly be like, oh my God, this whole time I've had like 20 pets that I was supposed to be taking care of and I forgot about them. I've only had one cat for like multiple years now. Like I still have those. Wait, I forgot about all my pets.
100% I get those. It's so stressful.
That sucks.
But it keeps you in check though, because there is an unfortunate inclination in the reptile hobby to get tons and tons of animals. I only have 4 snakes and a couple spiders and stuff, and I want to make sure I'm only able to take care of the amount that I can properly give affection and proper care of course.
So the egg-eating snake that you have is, you mentioned she's a climber.
Oh yeah. Except like, I mean, I was very proud of her at the show because she was totally calm and happy just observing. Those big eyes of her taking everything in.
Oh, what a cutie pie.
So going on to their scales, their colors and patterns match the members of the Viperidae family that they share the habitat with. Like as you go across the continent and the vipers are looking different, so are the egg-eating snakes.
Oh, that's interesting. Does that seem to be like because they're both evolved for the same kind of camouflage, or does it seem like the egg-eating snake is like trying to mimic the vipers?
100% trying to mimic.
Interesting. They're bluffing.
Their scales heavily overlap and are keeled, which I talked about earlier. So they're raised and have a ridge down the center. So like just so much texture to them.
What is that for? What does that do?
Well, I will talk about that a little later.
Okay, we'll save that. We'll keep that in our pocket.
Yes. Yeah, it does have a very specific function, which is fascinating.
Ooh.
And has to do with the vipers as well.
Oh, okay.
So they have vertically slitted pupils. They're nocturnal. But moving on, when we are thinking of impressive examples of snakes eating large meals, who comes to mind?
I mean, my first thing I'm thinking of is something like a constrictor that might be eating something very large, like you've heard of like anacondas in the Amazon eating like capybaras or something like that.
Yeah, you're thinking of ambush predators versus foragers. Yeah, the ambush guys, they're much more heavily bodied than like a corn snake or whatever. They have like a much wider size range of prey that they're able to eat because they're actively waiting for things to come by. And they're not going to be spending as much caloric energy going around looking. That's kind of like why your ball python's in its hide most of the time. Because they're wait for days or weeks for meals to come into their melee range.
Yeah, to take an attack of opportunity.
Exactly.
But they also like need to be really, really bulky and muscular so that they can, like take down something big. Because I'm looking at this noodly little egg-eating snake, and I don't think this thing could take down very much.
Well, the Dasypeltis, specifically the Dasypeltis gonzi, are the current world record holders for the highest relative prey mass and largest relative gape of any snake. So, relative prey mass is the size of prey a predator eats relative to its own body mass and length, and the gape is how wide they can stretch their mouths.
Which is a fantastic metric.
Yes.
How much mouth?
Oh, so much mouth. So, why? Eating exclusively bird eggs raises a few problems.
How you getting those eggs?
Exactly.
In this economy?
In this economy.
In this economy, you're telling me you're eating nothing but eggs.
They would have started eating eggs exclusively because eggs share the same chemical cues as their parents oftentimes. And so at some point down the line, one of their ancestors was like, wait, this is easier, guys. Hey, have you seen these things? Like, it's so much easier than like fighting.
They make them prepackaged now. They put them in these little things. Like, it's like a pill. It's a pill form. Yeah, like they make it in pill form now. It's the whole bird is in there. It's crazy. The whole thing.
The whole thing. No beak, no claws.
It's like a Skittle.
I think a gusher, maybe.
Ew. Ew. Gross.
Well, this snake treats it like a gusher. We'll get into that. So if a snake is eating an egg, it's probably going to be a reptile's egg because reptile eggs are like squishy and elongated, whereas bird eggs are like hard shell, close to spherical shape with a wide circumference. Like, I have small mouth. Between like a burrito and a giant jawbreaker, I'm going to have an easier time om-nomming on that burrito.
True, because then you can squish it down a little bit, right? Like,
exactly. There are even some snakes that don't have the gape to eat the eggs of the birds that they hunt. Although there is an issue with the nutrition aspect. Well, yes, you are getting a lot of good nutrition, like proteins, fats, and calcium and stuff from the egg. If you had an egg and whole prey of the same size, the whole prey is going to be much more nutritious. That's why, while some other species do eat eggs, generally it should only be given as like a treat. So what's the solution? Bigger egg.
Make egg big.
Make egg big. So there's more nutrition in a bigger egg and a wider variety of birds to get them from. So like same reason why ambush predator snakes tend to have a wider range of prey. Let's get into how, though, they can do this.
It seems like a challenge. I don't think I could swallow an egg whole, and I'm a lot bigger than this snake.
You're not going to gaston it?
So when he was talking about all the dozens of eggs that he eats every day, you think he's like fully like popping them in and just swallowing them whole?
I'm pretty sure there's exact animation of that.
They're like, we don't have the time or the budget to animate chewing. Just let him sort of unhinge his jaw. Let him just kind of slide him right down there.
Gaston is egg eating snake.
Confirmed.
In a suit. So there is a common belief that snakes unhinge their jaw to swallow large prey, but that's a myth.
Ooh.
How they do it, though? It is thanks to a specialized bone called a quadrate. Most reptiles and birds have one. We have it too, but it's located in our inner ear. On reptiles, it's located between the lower jaw and brain case and acts as a hinge when opening and closing their mouths. But snakes further developed the quadrate. So it's now like an elongated bone that acts as a mobile hinge, which allows the snake to open its mouth much, much further.
Oh, yeah. I pulled up a picture of it, and it looks like the atlatl, you know what I mean? Like the little like flinging device thing.
Oh,
that's what it kind of reminds me of. Like it just
absolutely
extends the sort of reach of it so they can go a lot farther.
Mm-hmm. The hinge also attaches like at the back of the skull rather than midway like our own. A human skull is going to have very little movement because like everything has its place and it should stay about there. But with snakes, everything is built to stretch apart. So the quadrate is attached to the brain case and lower jaw by stretchy ligaments and soft tissues. And their mandibles actually aren't fused at the front. Instead, they're connected by those same stretchy tissues. This allows them to move their lower jaws independently of one another. And the independent movement of each side of their jaw lets them compensate for their lack of arms by literally walking the prey back down their throat.
This is crazy. This is wild to me. The idea of being able to like articulate your jaw movement. Like I could kind of move my jaw like side to side a little bit, but it's such a weird sensation to think about independently operating the left and right sides of your jaw. That is so weird.
Yeah, the example I think of is like shimmying on too tight pants.
You think the snake's got to do the
One
little
side?
wiggle?
Yeah.
Sorry, we
and
just lost the entire Gen Z audience who they're like, excuse me, we do not do that. I don't know if you're aware. Tight pants are over.
You don't stuff yourself into too tight pants, cutting off your circulation.
The tight pants era is done. I finally caved. I've been like clinging to skinny jeans for dear life this whole time because like I was in high school in like the 2010s. And so that was the style at the time. And then I finally just caved and got a pair of these like baggy Gen Z barrel jeans that are all the rage now. And I finally put them on and I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. You guys were right about this one.
For some reason, when I was younger, I wore jeans constantly, like even to bed. And now I'm like, what was wrong with me?
Sensory
Now
nightmare.
it's sweats all the time, or like leggings, or a dress because I don't want to wear pants.
That is a cheat code.
Life hack.
That is a cheat code.
People think I'm dressing up. No, I don't want to wear pants today.
I didn't want to have to pick out 2 articles of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I looked up pictures of the like snake skull, and the way that the bottom jaw is like 2 distinct pieces reminds me of the Arbiter from the Halo games.
Ooh, let me look it up.
Have you ever seen this man? It might be difficult to see in like pictures. If you see him talking in the game, you can see that his lower jaw is like 2 distinct pieces.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw a picture. That's cool.
I wonder if maybe that design was inspired by like the skull of a snake, because it kind of is what it looks like to me.
It would make sense. Oh, a random, very cute thing about snakes eating is if you hang around after they've swallowed, they yawn to reset their jaw.
Oh, interesting.
It's so cute.
Aww.
As a note, their I don't know what to call it, but their breathing tube is on the lower jaw.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, you can kind of see it sticking up.
Mm-hmm. So like that's like also how they're able to eat without suffocating.
Oh, that makes sense. I have seen videos of snakes drinking water. That's pretty cute too, because they do a sort of like bloop, bloop, bloop kind of motion with their like whole face. It's really cute.
Okay, since you brought up water, I have to talk about Ouroboros real quick.
Okay.
He has this thing where whatever I feed him, he has to bring it into his water bowl and swish it around before he will eat it. We call it saucing up his food.
He's just like me for real. That is so me.
And he loves water so much. Oftentimes, like a snake soaking a lot is a sign that they might have mites or something. He doesn't, but he does like his water bowl for like getting a refreshing bath. One time, this little guy, he fell asleep under the water, and I thought he died.
Oh no, bro, wake up!
Like I saw him in there, and I was like, oh my god! I started like slapping the enclosure and stuff. Nothing, no movement. And then finally, like I rip off the baby locks, which makes like a lot of noise, and I pull it open. And he like raises his head and looks at me like, why?
Maybe don't do that.
I was sleeping.
I was enjoying my luxurious bath that you gave me.
They all.
Why'd you give me this if I wasn't supposed to get in it?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's my fault. 100%. Yeah, like it's so cool, just all their different personalities. But back to the quadrate. The egg eater's quadrate is particularly long for their skull size, aiding them in being able to open their jaw wider. But it's also like it's so thin and flexible. Generally, a longer snout is going to help a snake eat larger meals, but in direct contrast to this, of course, as the egg-eating snake likes to be, it has a very, very short and blunt snout. One of the biggest contributors to their relative prey mass is their intermandibular soft tissues. They've just adapted to be better than everyone else.
Just built different, purely built different.
Just built different. To study this, herpetologist Bruce Wayne used freshly euthanized snakes and inserted cylindrical probes of increasing sizes. They mimic the movement of how it's...
Sir, stop it. That's not... This is not like making people think scientists are normal people. This is not helping.
He did multiple studies of this.
Stop it.
I love this guy so much. They would mimic the movement of how a snake swallows prey to insert it. So our walking method. And would stop increasing the size once it was too large to fit or started to damage the specimen's tissues. And I have some numbers here. Relative contribution to gape by intermandibular soft tissues. So a brown tree snake, it's going to get about 17% of its gape from its soft tissues. A black rat snake, 19%. Burmese python, 43%. And Dasypeltis is at Dasypeltis gonzi specifically is at a whopping 50%.
Whew.
Yeah.
Putting up numbers.
And I'm going to send you some pictures.
Oh, I feel like I remember this.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's see it. Look at this goober. This clown of a snake.
So in the first image, it is, I believe, the rat snake and the Dasypeltis gonzi. And in the second, it is the Burmese python.
Yeah, okay. There's a Facebook page or group or something like that. There's a social media account called Science Diagrams that look like, I mean, it's a grown-up word, but let's call it trash posting. This is a prime candidate for that because this is the most unserious scientific illustration that's ever existed. I think it looks like a puppet, and it's comical. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what the mental image is. It's the Alaskan bullworm.
Yes.
You know, like in SpongeBob, when the Alaskan bullworm like opens up its mouth and like swallows a whole city by opening its mouth real wide. That's exactly what this dude looks like.
100%.
Let me pull up a.
Are you gonna make a meme for us?
I mean, I need to at least do a side by side. Okay. Oh well, there's a picture of the Alaskan bullworm with the Ocean Gate submersible in it. That's not what I need, but it's great.
That's exactly what I needed.
That's exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Oh dear Lord.
Now pull up the picture you sent me on Discord and just side by side those real quick. It's the same image.
It's the same.
It's the same
100%.
picture.
Honestly, I think they just got a egg-eating snake and put it in the ocean for that.
That was the reference image they had to have used. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
It's the same dude.
There's a quote from biologist Bruce Jane from when U.S. Cincinnati interviewed him. This will help put it into more perspective how crazy these size differences are. Adult Burmese pythons can consume deer weighing more than 70 pounds and alligators 100 pounds or more. Still, the little egg eater can consume prey with a cross-sectional area more than twice that of a Burmese python of similar weight.
Not even close.
An egg-eating snake can consume prey up to approximately 4 times the size of what a rat snake is able to consume.
Only one job.
Only one.
One job, eat egg. Consume egg.
I mean, what else do you need?
So when the snake eats the egg, this is a serious looking egg. It looks like it's going to take a minute to break down. Mm-hmm. So good on them for getting the egg down the hatch in the first place. What's game plan?
Well, we're not quite there yet.
Oh, okay. We're not even down the hatch yet.
No, it's not down the hatch.
We're still in the lobby of the body.
Yes. We are still in the mouth. As a quick note, diamond rattlesnakes are just behind the Gon's egg eater and the Burmese python in predator to prey size ratio. Just have to give them a call out.
I wish they could.
So egg eater is number 1, but being better than everyone else isn't enough. You need more egg.
Yet more egg. That was not enough egg. I won't stop until I'm putting ostriches in here.
You see, we have a problem in the way of our quest for maximum egg. Do you have a guess?
How? Okay, there's another door that it has to get through, right? You got to swallow the darn thing.
That's one part of it. Teeth, actually, they're just in your way, you know?
That's true.
We want bigger eggs. So what do we got to do?
Get rid of those teeth.
Get rid of them.
We're done. We're not using these.
They're only holding you back. That's valuable space you could be using for bigger eggs.
Optimize your build. Teeth is a dump stat. Get rid of those.
Technically, they have like the smallest remnants of teeth, which Carl Gons said that they act as suction ridges to aid in the gripping of the egg. So onto the throat. Their throat skin, it's extremely stretchy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture and it's like a balloon. It's like a veiny balloon in there.
Yeah, like when they swallow the egg, you can see the rows of those previously overlapping scales spread significantly. And there's literal centimeters of space between the rows of scales, like several times the width of the scales themselves.
Reminds me of the humpback whale. Like when the humpback whale like scoops up a bunch of like water in and the like throat like billows out. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh my God, I hadn't thought about that. Now we have a new problem though. There's a giant egg in your throat. You're an extremely noodly sized snake, and this egg is like a golf ball, basically. This wouldn't be a huge problem for like a rat snake or something, like who's also an egg eater of sorts. But for a little noodle, that's going to slow you down, and it's going to take a long time to digest. So we adapt, we improvise, we overcome. We don't have teeth in our mouth, but we have spine teeth.
Now, that's not usually where teeth go. You don't usually get teeth from there.
They sure do.
Put them wherever. Just put them wherever. Like, we don't, just find space.
They're not actual teeth, but they are developed, specialized, elongated, bony protrusions on their upper spine called hypophysis. There we go. These protrusions are angled towards the head and topped with enamel. Once the egg enters the throat, they keep it from passing into the stomach. 3 of these spinal protrusions are particularly large, and they'll flex their muscles and saw these spinal protrusions through the egg, and you can actually hear like the crack if you're watching them.
Don't care for that.
It's kind of wild.
It's not my favorite. I don't want to see a snake eat something and then hear crunching from within. I don't want to like hear things going on inside your body. I don't want snap, crackle, pop going on in there.
It would be so much worse if it was whole prey, though. It'd be so much worse.
That would be a million times worse.
Aren't you glad it's an egg?
I mean, I guess.
After they've cracked the egg, they're going to squeeze their throat muscles and kind of do like an undulating motion. And they're draining every bit of yolk from that egg. And it's like watching a balloon deflate inside them. Definitely a fun thing to watch a video of. Now, another issue. We have a crushed eggshell in our throat and don't want it. Get rid of it. So then they raise the front part of their body and start doing that writhing serpentine motion. And you can see the muscles in their throat contracting as it pushes the egg upwards. And like how when Shaggy and Scooby like open their mouth to eat a sandwich, they open their mouth.
Yeah.
And you see this, if you look head on, it's like an endless black hole of darkness. And then they just kind of go, bleh, and the eggshell pops out in like a cigar shape. And it's like not in pieces, it's like fully intact.
Huh. Guys, I feel like the egg eating thing has introduced so many more problems. It has raised so many more issues than it solved. At what point do you go, you know what, this was a good idea, but like, at what point is it more trouble than it's worth? Because you have to go to such incredible lengths.
You don't gotta fight birds, though. I'm trying to find an image for you of one with their mouth just open so you can see the black hole.
It's like me like cutting up a pineapple where I'm like, at one point I'm like, is this even worth it? I don't even need to eat this. I have to do so much to access this food. Oh, that's quite silly. Yeah, that's abyssal.
Nearly a little bitch monster. But the reason that regurgitation is actually unique for a snake to like evolve to do frequently is because for most snakes, they regurgitate because they're dealing with an extremely stressful and traumatic experience. The usual reasons in the wild are the meal's too large or they're trying to escape a threat. And in captivity, snakes will often regurgitate or throw up if they're handled within 48 hours of feeding or if the temperature of the enclosure is too low. So if like your snake is doing that, you need to first adjust your like how you're keeping them, your husbandry, and then if it continues, go see a vet.
Unless they're an egg-eating snake.
Yeah, then it's fine. And you can just sit and watch.
Do you use that in your art? Is that in there? You ever use one of these little
shells?
Yeah, one of these little shell pellets?
I've thought about it. You know what? Maybe my next piece will be that.
I do like an owl pellet, but that has like cool bones and stuff in it. This is just egg chunks. I don't like that.
One thing I did take away for it is that they can't digest meals that are too far along in development. So like the bird is going to hatch soon, they can't digest it. But moving on to how can they defend themselves? They can't.
We simply don't.
What's she gonna do?
Yeah.
No arms, no teeth, no feet.
Nothing. Literally nothing in the kit. No venom, nothing.
You'd have to I think for it to hurt a human, you'd have to jab your finger down its throat.
And at that point, that's on you. If you're getting hurt at that point, that's your fault.
100%. Supposedly, there was this old paper. I tried to read through it and I couldn't find this mention, but Carl Gons mentioned that what this researcher had said that they never bite, and then a few pages later said that they bite viciously.
You can see where it's crossed out. It's like the little Reddit post underneath that says, update.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Maximum Fun Network, and when we get back, we will talk ingenuity and aesthetics for the egg-eating snake.
Hi, I am Jordan Crucchiola and I host Feeling Seen. I'm here with Maximum Fun Member of the Month, Khalil Goodman. Hi, Khalil.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you for having me. So great to see you.
I gotta know what's made you feel seen. I figure you've thought about this if you've listened to the show a bunch.
I read X-Men when I was 6. When you're a kid who makes art, which I am, and you're a queer kid, there's this feeling of something is different, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You can be different, but it can be a superpower.
What would you say to others who might be considering supporting the show? What would be your sales pitch to them?
If you love this thing, if you are getting all of this joy and comfort from this thing, make sure that this thing that you like will continue.
Thank you so much, Khalil, for taking the time to talk to me today and for listening to the show. My God, it means a lot to just know people are really listening and valuing what they're hearing.
Thank you so much.
Become a Maximum Fun member now at MaximumFun.org/join.
If you want to know what's going on in the world of movies, you should be listening to Maximum Film so we can tell you all about it.
Okay, but what if you already know what's going on in the world of movies? What if you're kind of obsessed with movies? Like maybe you have a problem?
Well, then you should definitely be listening to Maximum Film, because we too have that problem, and it's important you know you're not alone.
We're talking indies you'll want to seek out.
Blockbusters and blockbusting wannabes.
Classics we can't get enough of.
I'm comedian and writer Kevin Avery.
I'm film critic Alonzo Duralde.
I'm festival programmer and producer Drea Clark.
Together, we're Maximum Film. Smart about movies in Hollywood, so you don't have to be.
But if you already are, that's also great. And hey, we see you.
New episodes every week on MaximumFun.org.
The next category that we rate animals on is ingenuity. These are behaviors, things the animal is doing with their body to solve the problems that they face. Lynn, what do you give egg-eating snakes for ingenuity?
A 6.
Now, I am looking at this noggin because I was observing the skull because I was looking at the bones.
Mostly eyes.
I see a lot of room for mouth. I see a lot of room for eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not leaving a ton left over for brain. Not a lot of room left for brain, I fear.
Not a ton, but they do some actually pretty intelligent things. I'm pretty proud of them.
They're working with what they got, dude.
So when an egg-eating snake comes across a nest, it'll actually stop and examine the eggs thoroughly before attempting to eat them. If you've spent any time around snakes, you'll notice that they flick their tongues a lot, especially if there's something of interest happening. This is because of their Jacobson organ, which it's an organ located in the nasal cavity with ducts going into the snake's mouth. And when a snake flicks its tongue out, scent particles and chemical cues will stick to it. So when the snake brings its tongue back into its mouth and flicks the forked tongue into those ducts, it's going to get feedback on the environment around them. But the egg-eating snake, theirs is just better. Again, not only can they tell if the egg is good or bad, but they can tell how far along the embryo is in development. So then they'll make the active decision oh, I am not going to eat this egg because it'll make my tummy hurt.
Oh, listen, even I sometimes don't make that judgment call. Even I sometimes am like, this is going to hurt my tummy. I am going to eat it anyway.
Honestly, yeah, same. I'm so glad I'm not lactose intolerant because, my God, the agony I'd go through.
For some cheese, I'm risking it all.
Yes. In the 19 publishment, The Snakes of South Africa, Their Venom, and the Treatment of Snake Bites, this is supposedly where the guy talked about them biting viciously. But I read through some of the book. Like I said, I couldn't find it. Author Fitzsimmons spoke on his struggles and experiments with getting his captive egg eaters to eat. I love this quote. The egg eater is not altogether a fool. You cannot trick him about things which his ancestors for untold generations have learned from experience and transmitted to him in the form of a remarkably acute sense of smell, which is very necessary for him in his profession of an egg eater. Being short of fresh pigeon's eggs once, I went to my cabinet and took the clean-blown shells of a few dove eggs. Beating up the contents of a fresh fowl's egg, I syringed it into the empty shells and carefully pasted tiny bits of tissue paper over the holes. Placing these in the egg eater's cage, I watched, expecting the snakes to swallow them as they always did the other eggs. First one egg eater advanced, touching each egg gently in turn with the tip of his nose or the point of his forked tongue. He crawled away in disgust. Another and yet another cage advanced, repeating the performance, and duly retired. Like,
am I a joke to you? You think you're gonna sneak a dove egg by me?
It didn't matter how long he left the eggs there. The snakes would not touch them until he got them some fresh dove eggs.
You think this trash, this filth that you're trying to slop in front of me? This garbage? I don't think so. You turn around and you go back to the market and you go get the fresh eggs I asked for.
You go outside. You climb that tree.
You go climb that tree. You get up in that nest.
You get me my breakfast. So, yeah, he tried it again and again and got the same results. He also noted that the egg eaters would sometimes reject certain eggs. And when he opened them, he'd find that they were either spoiled or with a well-developed bird inside.
Absolutely not. Listen, my little minor superpower that I have is that I am really, really good at picking produce.
Oh.
Like when I do most of the grocery shopping for our family, I am the one that picks produce. And if anyone else in the family tries to pick produce, it's going to be moldy. It's going to like have a weird bruise on it. Like or it's just not going to taste right. Like it just ends up not being right. So like, I get it. Sometimes the vibe is off and you're like, it's not this one. This one's bad.
You need to pick out my pomegranates for me because I have picked out what looked like the most beautiful pomegranates. And like this year, every time I open them up, they're just rotten inside.
Pomegranates are tough. Bring your snake with you. Have your snake help you pick.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
You know how like when you're buying eggs at the store, you're supposed to like open the carton and like check to make sure none of them are like broken or anything like that? You should like in the egg aisle at the store, just like bust the snake out real quick and have her do a quick little rundown of like the carton to see like, hey, are any of these like rotten?
That would be the perfect photo shoot.
You have to just like say nothing about it.
Hey, I bring them on errands with me, so perfect.
Little connoisseurs, not the snake snobbery. This one is actually too developed.
They are the snobs of snakes, 100%.
An egg sommelier.
So when they're out foraging for eggs, it's usually at a time when the parents are out of the nest. You'll find several at a time in the trees looking for eggs. And once they manage to get into a nest of eggs, they inspect them and then gorge themselves on all that are suitable. There is a BBC documentary you can find on YouTube of one foraging for eggs while there are birds around. And it's kind of hilarious watching the snake with like, they just have like a keep moving forward mindset, but it's being dive bombed by angry parents.
Like, there's nothing I can do about that. That's out of my hands.
But they can hold on so well. Like the birds are knocking it off, but it's like holding on with its tail and just brings itself back up. They do play a really vital role in controlling bird populations, though. Biologist J.J. Krupa did a study called, Do African Egg-Eating Snakes Exhibit Preference for Eggs They Eat? He wondered this because the curiosity was revolving around size is due to the fact that the large egg is going to contain more nutrients than a smaller one, but it's going to take a longer time to eat, which gives mama and papa bird more time to come back. So 5 species of Dasypeltis were offered a variety of eggs from galliform, game birds, of different sizes. They ranged from small, soft-shelled quail eggs to hard and thick-shelled turkey eggs. In a follow-up experiment, they were offered game birds as well as eggs from columbiform species, which include dove and pigeon. These eggs were different sizes, colors, and ranged in thickness of shell. His study showed that large adult Dasypeltis will eat eggs of any size, but they have a preference for large, tough-shelled eggs. But that the small and young snakes would just go for the small eggs. They can be pretty picky, though. A big challenge in captivity is getting them to eat, and it's normal to waste quite a few eggs. When I first got Muffin, she refused to eat the fresh button quail eggs I was providing her, but 2 things I did seem to help. I gave her a fake nest for her to discover the eggs inside.
Oh, wow. You need enrichment.
Yes.
A snacktivity. She needs a snacktivity.
I also managed to get her some budgie eggs, so I found that variety really helped. But she lets me know when she's hungry by, like, she just hangs out in her nest and stares at me.
Usually there's eggs here.
Mhm.
The eggs go here.
Like, this is looking a little empty. I hope they're not just hanging out in empty nests in the wild, though.
Bad idea.
Just, hey, bring me some dinner.
Ordering DoorDash, like,
Get laying.
deliver to nest in tree.
Oh, it's dine in.
Yeah.
When faced with danger, their first inclination is to flee, and they're so fast. That's like why I was like a little worried about bringing her to events, but she did great. They're also perfectly willing to fling themselves off of things like your hand. But if that doesn't work, they have a defensive display.
Let's go.
AKA lying.
Oh, we love a literal lying snake.
Yes! Oh my god! When faced with danger, they puff up their face and neck to look more like the vipers that they share territory and pattern and coloration with. Like, it is strikingly similar.
Ooh.
They'll hold their head up above their coiled body, poised to strike. But then if you look closer, they're not actually forming what you'd think of as like a true snake coil. Instead, they have their body looped in like a series of parallel folds, which are constantly in motion and have several points of contact. Their scales, those keeled scales scraping together at points of contact, create a continuous hissing noise.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like stridulation.
Yes. It makes the snake's body look like it's like swirling in a way that's like mesmerizing to watch.
Oh, that's cool.
And then with their mouth open, they'll just like viciously strike at whatever the perceived threat is, but not actually bite generally, unless you're that one researcher trying to feed a snake fake eggs.
Which that one was just because they were mad about the eggs.
100%. I would be too. I am going to send you a video of a snake doing this.
Oh, now this is cool. Oh, the effect is very interesting because like the stripes are going in opposite directions. It's like the head is staying in one place, like the head is very stabilized, but the rest of the body is in this sort of like constant motion. It's very like confusing to look at.
It's so hypnotizing too.
It is. That's really cool.
There's this story that Gons mentioned in Warning Behavior in Snakes of the genus Dasypalpus, that a specimen collector for Darwin, he was very familiar with the species and its behavior, but he actually just mistook one of these harmless snakes for a night adder. Its performance was so good.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, if I saw a snake acting like this, I would assume that's being backed up by something.
Yeah.
There's got to be something going on here for you to have this kind of attitude.
I mean, they're kind of just disarming to look at. You're like mesmerized and stuff.
Yeah, they're really, really pretty. I think it's beautiful to look at, Absolutely. But I can see it also being intimidating.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're looking at, which, I mean, he did, so shame on him, I guess. Do better at your job. So March to October is their mating season. Flirting. Did you know that snakes flirt?
I didn't. This is great.
So it's different among snake species. Some of them do things like chin rubbing or head jerking. It's hard to flirt when you don't have much more than a noodle body, but you know.
Do you think they slither up to each other and they're like, hey, babe, you want to see how wide my gape is?
Well, hers is always going to be better, so.
Mm-hmm. Just send them that picture from that paper.
Hey, this is me. For sure, this is not a dead snake. Freshly euthanized with a probe.
HMU. You up?
Some snakes will also, they'll get onto the female's back and kind of just make, a wave pattern on her.
I love that. That's great.
The males of this species will be very clingy and active, following the female around, but she decides on the frequency of mating. Mostly his way of flirting is, rubbing up against her and trying to line up their tails. But, yeah, that's my last bit on ingenuity.
Well, the last category that we rate animals on is aesthetics. It's just how nice they are to look at, whether they're cute, cool, whatever you think about them. What do you give the egg-eating snake out of 10 for aesthetics?
Well, of course, Muffin. She gets a 10 out of 10, of course.
She specifically. She gets her own score.
But 6 out of 10.
Wow, that's harsher than I thought.
I'm a mean grader. Sorry.
Clearly. Because I'm looking at this adorable little snake with the tiny head and the big little kawaii eyes. I'm thinking this is a pretty cute little guy, and you're like, I've seen cuter. I've seen
What
better.
would you rate this?
Well, now with the egg in the mouth is a different thing, though. When the egg is in the mouth, that's dragging it down a little bit. But like, I think this cute little cutie pie is probably like worth an 8 or a 9 to me. I think they're so cute.
Oh, that's so nice.
And then with
You're so kind.
That's true. I am kind of I'm a soft grader. I'm a pushover. Do you feel like it's because you've like seen cuter snake?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Listen, we always say Ouroboros is so baby girl because he is. Like, you just look at his face and you're like, wow, that's a baby girl.
I'm just saying there's nothing happening in that little head. Nothing going on. It is circus music in there.
But I say that because genuinely they just look like a generic snake, even with their patterns evolved to look like the Viperidae. Without their face all flattened out, it's just, if you look up snake in a dictionary, there it is.
They are kind of a starter kit looking snake, but I don't know. I think that's really interesting that like even for such an animal that might appear to be like basic from the outside is hiding such interesting, unique specializations under the hood.
That's honestly my favorite thing about them is just like at first glance they're just very non-assuming, but then like you spend 3 seconds researching and you're like, what?
They're full of surprises.
Their conservation status is least concern. The Alecastodon westermani is extremely rare, but also recognized as least concern. They're not super common in the pet trade, being mostly more of like a nichely kept species. It is difficult to care for hatchlings since the eggs have to be very small. So unfortunately, frequently the ones available for purchase are ones that have been taken from the wild. I was lucky because I got Muffin captive bred from Firestone Reptiles. They breed finches, which is how they get their eggs for feeding the hatchlings. They were also kind enough to let me ask them a few different questions about breeding and such for this. Also, the reason that we don't have specialized egg eaters like in the Americas and in Europe and stuff is that our bird species they're just too big for an egg specialist to have developed.
Yeah, we do have some chunky birds. I guess that makes sense that like they wouldn't have the variety of small eggs that they would need to get through adulthood.
I mean, yeah, turkeys and stuff.
And they will hurt you very bad. They're so mean.
That is true.
Turkeys are so mean.
Ours might be a little bit meaner.
Turkeys will kick
Can't
the
say that
absolute
for sure.
crap out of you, dude.
Yeah, and they'll just gobble you up. They won't dive bomb you from the trees.
No, they're running up on you. They're walking you down.
But, I mean, we do have other snakes that will do that, like the rat snake and such. I always hear about the egg tax with rat snakes. Like, oftentimes rat snakes will just kind of hang out in, like, a coop and eat an egg every once in a while, but also keep away the rats.
Yeah, it's like, what's an egg here and there? You know, like, leave a little tip, you know what I mean? Like, what's an egg here and there to you?
Yeah.
You weren't going to eat all those eggs.
He gets a salary. I've also heard that they supposedly kind of learn when is okay to, like, kind of slither about, like, when the chickens are kind of doing their downtime. But I don't know that for sure. It's just what I've heard.
The thing I always hear about rat snakes is like how you can tell that it's a rat snake is if it's just in an absolutely ridiculous place. If the snake is somewhere snakes should not go, it's probably a rat snake.
Probably.
If it's like doing parkour off your gutters, that's probably a rat snake.
I saw this story on Nextdoor recently where a guy posted about a Mexican black king snake he found in his bed.
No.
So, like, someone had lost one of their pet snakes, I guess, and it just went in this guy's bed.
Well, Lynn, where can people find more of your work? Where can people find, like, the art that you make and things like that? Where can people go next?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Calypsos_charms, which is, like, the name of my business, named after my first snake. You can also find me at Seer of Ashes on Instagram, where I'm slowly posting stuff about a comic I'm making. My life's a little hectic right now, but I'm working on it, like, between projects and stuff. It's set in a fantasy-esque world of my own creation. The comic's protagonist has been having visions of the end of the world since they were a little kid, and no one believed them, and eventually they turned apathetic to it happening. Now the signs of the apocalypse are here, and in wanting to experience some semblance of a life worth living before the world ends, they leave home for the first time. Out in the world, they find reasons for wanting to save it in the connections they make with other people. I don't really want to give more away, but it has queer themes that'll come up later on. I've been using it as an outlet for my own mental health struggles, a big one being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and having to, like, completely relearn how I think.
Oh, yeah.
Really excitingly, I'll actually be working with the company hosting with Hawamsi to teach classes on how to make jewelry using reptile sheds, as well as how to paint using snake sheds. You'll even get to meet some of my snakes.
Nice.
I'm so excited and nervous. It'll be at Wonderment Brewing Tap Room in Denver.
Hi there, just editing in the date and time of this event. It is on Saturday, March 14th at 2:30 p.m. I will have a link to it in the episode description if you are in the Denver area and interested in joining.
Other than that, you can catch me at various reptile expos throughout the Midwest and a few events in Denver, like as they come up. Particularly, I'm working with the organizers from Show Me Reptiles.
Awesome. I'll have links to everything also in the episode description so that anybody listening can scroll down and click through and check out your other work, check out what you've got going on.
Aww.
Maybe come meet one of the snakes.
They are absolute sweethearts. You will have a wonderful time, I promise.
You'll have like those like lines to like meet a celebrity.
That's what it's like with Ouroboros. He's literally famous, like in the market community. I don't get invited to things. He gets invited to things, and I just come along. They'll send me messages like, "Hey, there's this event. You should bring Ouroboros."
You're his plus one.
I am.
You're his guest.
He's such a good boy.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you for telling us all about your snakes. Thank you for sharing your love for snakes and sharing your creativity and teaching us more about the fascinating, mind-blowing, really weird things going on in the reptile world. It has been an absolute delight.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. And y'all should come join the Discord. I'm very active in there, and I post lots of pictures of my babies.
Yes, it's a great time, and largely thanks to Lynn. You really bring it to life, I feel like.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
That's so kind.
Thank you. And we will talk to you later, Lynn.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoy a little snacktivity that's too big for your own mouth in this snake's honor. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you left behind some kind words for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Blue Sky. Links to everything will be in the episode description. You can also send me an email at ellen@justthezooofus.com if you have a cool animal you'd like to hear us talk about on the show. We'd like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network alongside their other amazing shows like the ones that you heard promos for here today. You can go check those out and learn more about the network and how you can be a part of supporting our show, plus get access to our exclusive monthly bonus episodes over at MaximumFun.org. Finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music. That's all for today. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Maximum Fun.
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.